Right now we're going to go down to our Rose Bowl referee for the Big 12 Conference, Scott Novak, for the pregame ceremonies and the coin toss.
Shake hands, introduce yourself. Guys, this is the Rose Bowl coin for today. This is Oregon. This is Ohio State. Mr. Sullenberger will flip the coin. Whoever side comes up will win the toss. Let me introduce the dignitaries for today's Rose Bowl game. First, Jack Throop, Acting President, Tournament Roses Association. Dominic DeSano, son of President Gary DeSano. And our Grand Marshal for today's game, Captain Sully Sullenberg. Mr. Sullenberg, you have the honor of flipping the coin, sir. Oregon, you won the toss. It's your choice. Oregon won the toss, elected to defer, want the ball. Which way you want to kick?
This way.
Okay, Ohio State, put you back there. Oregon over here. Ohio State over here.
You want to kick that way.
Start first half. Ohio State will receive. Good luck, guys.
The journey begins. Herron. Young Pryor will take over at the 25-yard line, Herbie. And will they keep it simplified? Will they keep it reduced for him today?
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to afford to do that with the ability that Oregon has to score points. I think maybe early in the game to settle him down, but at the same time, in talking to Jim Tressel, he really feels that Terrell Pryor's ability to throw the ball vertically downfield will be a big part of Ohio State's plan today against this style of Oregon defense.
Sane will open as the running back, number 3, Brandon Sane, alongside Pryor. And on first down, fires middle, incomplete. Second down and 10 as we take a look at the offensive lineup of the Buckeyes, presented by Taco Bell. Always good offensive line, but it's healthy today. Mike Brewster completely healthy and ready to anchor the middle. The skill players, do not overlook Zach Boren. All week they have practiced circling him out of the backfield as an extra receiver. There's the screen out the side to Zanzenbacher, and it puts him in third down as we take a look at our Taco Bell defensive lineup for the Ducks. Very active, not a big defense. Tukuafu up front is an outstanding defensive end, as is Kenny Rowe. Linebackers, you remember the name Casey Matthews? Seems like every time USC played in the Rose Bowl, there was a Matthews. That secondary, keep an eye on number 2, TJ Ward, one of the best hitters in the college game. And on this third down, Pryor will take off. There's the problem he creates. Was he hobbling a little bit when he went out of bounds over there, Herbie?
When he made that cut, but you can see this is a problem on third down that he can give a defense. The linebackers clear out, and Brent, you're right. Right here, I think he's already beginning to hobble a bit, and then definitely when he steps out of bounds, there's a noticeable limp here from Pryor. The cut right there to the outside. Now, he's talked about a knee bothering him. This is the first time he's had to use his legs here early in this game, and we'll keep a very close eye on his status throughout the ball game, obviously.
That was a 3rd and 6, and he ran for 24. And they are throwing early and often here today. And one of the things to keep in mind as Posey, probably his most dangerous wide receiver, makes his first catch. Keep in mind that they are short-handed at the wide receiver spot. Ray Small, the senior, is not here, violation of team rules. Deron Carter, who's a fine prospect, is not here because of academics. So they are short-handed there, Herbie.
They are short-handed, but they have a lot of confidence in the young receivers that are now stepping up to replace the two that they've lost.
Second down, throws for another first down. Very impressively as Posey makes his second catch. Terrell Pryor may be growing up right in front of us on this Rose Bowl afternoon.
5 plays and 5 straight pass plays to open the game for Jim Tressel and Terrell Pryor. The weakness of the Oregon defense is on the perimeter, the secondary, especially at corner. If you have a quarterback that can throw the football and receivers that can make plays against this attacking defense, you can attack them through the air.
Torian Washington's an added receiver. There's that flanker screen to Sanzenbacher as they go and attack the edge, and it's good for 7 yards.
Oregon's strength as a defense is running to the football, chasing the football up close to the line of scrimmage with their speeds. They, at times, because of the lack of size in the defensive line, they're willing to get their safeties and linebackers up really close to the line of scrimmage, and it does leave them vulnerable at times to one-on-one coverage on the outside.
There's the handoff to Sane. Another first down, barges across the 15-yard line, and the Bucks rolling early as Eddie Pleasant makes the stop for Oregon.
This is an offensive lineman loves to see a passing game work because it tends to open up some creases in the running game. Brent, you talked about it. The offensive line is not only healthy now, but they come into this game with a great deal of confidence. In the last 5 games since the Purdue loss, they've averaged 258 yards a game on the ground.
Good protection, incomplete. Sanzenbacher the intended target, and it'll be second down and 10. Paysinger was the defender there.
This Ohio State football team, when they get down into the red zone, you can see they've not had a lot of success. But I think a lot of that has been because of the play calling and the design of the offense that they have had, been much more conservative in the last 5 games than what they've shown in this opening drive.
And Boren is to the quarterback's left. He picks up the blitzer. Fire, end zone, in and out of Posey's hands. Had a crack at it just inside the pylon.
Well, this is a matchup that Ohio State wants to try to exploit. Anytime they're going to get DeVere Posey, who they feel is their most talented wide receiver, one-on-one in coverage, especially down in this area, they want to try and throw him the football. Pryor puts the ball where Posey, you would think, would be able to make that catch. One-on-one against the sophomore Anthony Gilden. He's there. He's got to hold on to the football for that touchdown.
Pryor, Sane, touchdown, Ohio State. Aaron Petrie back. He will kick extra points and field goals here today. And does this mean that upstairs are going to take a look at this?
Yeah, they're going to take a look to see if he kept his feet in bounds after he made this catch. It looked like he was tiptoeing, but looks like his right foot did stay in bounds. And how about the toughness of Brandon Sane running right over Talmadge Jackson? He's in bounds. The close part was right here. He's got plenty of room. He goes over top of Talmadge Jackson and shows his toughness. Brandon Sane, finally healthy. He's known as a speed back, but with his health this year, he has shown the ability to run with a lot of power. How about that drive? 10 plays.
The review, ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
10 plays, 9 pass plays that were called. Ended up scrambling on one of them.
You called it.
Yeah.
Take the cellophane off the young quarterback.
That's exactly right.
So here is Petrie back from an injury. His replacement, Devin Barkley, due to handle kickoffs here today. They were worried about his leverage in the kickoff portion of the game, but Petrie tacks on the extra point. Well, Jeremiah Masoli will be out next. We'll see about that Duck offense. But keep this in mind about Kenyon Barner, number 24, who is back deep against UCLA on this same field when they were struggling. Start of the second half, he took it back 100 yards. The second half kickoff for a touchdown. They exploded for 3 touchdowns in 6 plays to take charge of the Bruins on that day. Jeremiah Masoli did not quarterback Oregon on that Saturday afternoon. He was out with a knee injury, but he'll be here today, and Barner now awaits the Barkley kickoff. Here he comes. Stopped at the 26-yard line, and so, Herbie, our first look today at Masoli.
Well, I'm sure Masoli's anxious to get on the field after what Terrell Pryor and the Buckeyes did on their opening drive. It's about poise and composure. He's the X factor on this offense, ability to run the football. Ohio State is anxious to show that they can tackle and defend the running game. Much like Pryor, Masoli's going to have to make some plays also with his arm against an attacking defense.
Michael James motions out of the backfield. They go empty. And now it's Masoli's turn. Throw in underneath with blockers in front of the back for a first down. As we take a look at the Taco Bell starting offensive lineup for these high-powered Oregon Ducks. Offensive line, and Jordan Holmes out of Yuba City, California. He anchors it. He's a good one. You've just seen James as a receiver. Jeff Mayo is one of those underrated wide receivers who just does the job game after game after game. And here comes Barner, who they send him in, and it is a first down for the Ducks. We take a look at the Ohio State defense, and here's the big matchup. Cameron Hayward, one of the best defensive ends in the country. The linebackers, Roll and Homan, tackling machines. In that secondary, there's Kurt Coleman, all Big Ten safety. On a first down now, off that read option, Masoli's in trouble. There is that defensive front, and Cameron Hayward, with his 6th sack of the season, rolls in on Masoli.
I mean, the margin of error for this Oregon offensive line is very, very slight because of the athletic ability and size of Ohio State's defensive line. Oregon's had a lot of success in the Pac-10, but Brent, by far, this is the most talented defensive front with the depth that they have that they've faced all year.
There's the read option, and James is stopped as he crosses to about the 42-yard line.
And when you create negative plays as a defense against Chip Kelly's style of offense, it's such an option attack-oriented offense. You get them into third down and long, it takes them out of their comfort zone, and it allows Ohio State to get creative or get conservative, depending on what they want to dial up here on third and long.
Masoli, as the play breaks down, takes off, and he'll go out of bounds far side. Coleman closing in, and the Ducks are going to be forced to punt on their first series of this Rose Bowl.
You've got to go back to the first down play by Hayward, which ended up disrupting the rhythm of this Oregon offense. This is an offense that thrives on 2nd and 2 and 3rd and 3. You put them in 2nd and 3rd and long, and they get into big trouble.
Posey will replace Small as the return man on punts. Rice. This one could be down inside the 5. It is. And that's where they will miss Small. Back returning punts. He knew when to fair catch the ball. Timeout. Well, there is Sully Sullenberger, everybody's hero. Herbie, you and I had a chance to meet him the other night. I can't get over just what a nice gentleman he is, and talking about that incredible afternoon when he landed that jet in the Hudson River. Pryor now with Herron as his running back, hands it off far side, and a good first down run before Paysinger gets to him. There's a flag down on the play.
It came in a little bit late there, Brent, in the secondary.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 11, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Eddie Pleasant, the linebacker, who is guilty.
He's actually trying to deal with the block from Zach Boren, the guy that you've talked a lot about. Zach Boren was leading the way around the outside there for Boom Herron. Eddie Pleasant kind of back on his heels, just gave up and just grabbed hold of his face mask and ripped his helmet off of his head.
Middle for Herron, a 9-yard burst.
Brad, I know we've talked a lot about Terrell Pryor, but let's take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam to see how this offensive line right now is really winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Great job in the first drive with pass protection and giving Terrell Pryor time to throw. And now here starting the second drive, starting to take control and pushing Oregon back in the run game.
A little bit slow on that read option on the handoff, and the Ducks jumped the play. Bear and Rowe all over it.
I've talked to a lot of people who have looked at Terrell Pryor, other coaches who have recruited Terrell Pryor, and you've been around the game, Brent, a long time. Have you ever seen a guy as heavily scrutinized as Terrell Pryor? He comes in his second year as a starting quarterback, 8 new starters around him, and he's trying to do, the unenviable, trying to live up to such unrealistic expectations.
3rd and 3. He keeps it again this time. Got the first down. That was well done. He had the ball, and he brought it back and took off himself.
He took it himself, and he got the football into his left arm. And you see the stiff arm right there. Gives you an idea of the strength that he has as he just pushes down Eddie Pleasant, the linebacker, and throws him to the ground, and then gets upfield for a first down.
That was rather unpleasant.
Yeah.
Sticking with the power eye, a couple of yards.
Pryor, exactly what he needed to do in this drive was to be able to establish himself and get his confidence going, Brent. He's answered a lot of questions throughout the bowl preparation about whether or not he's still a big part of the offense, and only throwing the ball an average of 17 times in the last 3 games, being very conservative. I think he really wanted to come out and start well, and he definitely did that in that first drive.
Pryor, Zanzenbacher, first down, Buckeyes.
High percentage passes here for Terrell Pryor. And he's in rhythm like any quarterback. He's got a chance to be able to make plays. And Oregon will leave the Ohio State receivers one-on-one because the amount of blitzing they do. They have a lot of confidence. They want to force Terrell Pryor to show that he can throw the football to win this game.
Penalty flag. Herron for a couple, but the line judge on the near side threw the flag in front of the Buckeye bench.
Offside, defense, number 45, line up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Terrell Turner, guilty.
Oregon has to stick to their game plan, even though Terrell Pryor right now is in a rhythm and playing with a lot of confidence. Nick Aliotti saying this week that one of the things that they have to do, if it takes 8, put 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. If it takes 9, put 9. We have to stop Terrell Pryor from running and Brandon Sane and Boom Herron from running the football. Make him throw.
Boren leads the play. And nothing doing as the Ducks jump Dan Heron that time. Inside of 6 minutes here in the opening quarter of this Rose Bowl. Look at our beautiful scene. Pryor's in trouble. Down, sacked at the 39-yard line. Kenny Rowe, who now has 9.5 sacks this season.
Well, Kenny Rowe is going to be right here. And he has the ability to eventually, through patience, fight his way and not give up on it. He comes off of Jake Ballard to tie it in, and because of his effort and relentless attitude, he's eventually able to take down Terrell Pryor. If he doesn't bring him down there, Pryor ends up making a big play.
Third and a bunch, and Pryor in trouble again. Deep middle, incomplete. Sanzenbacher the target, and TJ Ward with him every step of the way.
This is what Oregon needed to do. The big stop and the big sack on second down by Kenny Rowe. Looks like Kenny Rowe has his way again, this time with Jim Cordell, never giving up on a play and almost comes up with another sack. But enough here just to make Pryor throw it before he wants to, and the Ducks force the Buckeyes to punt.
Now Barner. There's a penalty on this play and another flag. So we've got 2 penalties on this return by Kenyon Barner.
One's for sure on Crenshaw, number 22, who's trying to deal with Kurt Coleman. I think the huddle has everything to do, obviously, with that second flag.
There are 2 fouls, both against the receiving team. During the return, blocking the back, number 1 of the receiving team. Penalties decline. Holding during the kick, receiving team number 1. Penalized from the end of the kick, half the distance of the goal. Timeout on the field.
One more and Marvin Johnson would have been arrested.
The trifecta. Wow.
We've got a timeout in Pasadena. We welcome you back to the 96 Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Well, the last time the Buckeyes came to Pasadena for a Rose Bowl, 1997, against Arizona State. Maybe that day Dick Vermeil worked with me, and Joe Germain was the hero on that last drive. The coach was John Cooper. And now the Buckeyes come back first time under head coach Jim Tressel. Read option, and James is read perfectly by Thaddeus Gibson, the defensive end for the Bucks.
This defensive line, that was the matchup. You had talked about that at the beginning of this game. How would Oregon handle the talent of this defensive line, this size? Because it's not just one guy. You know, when Oregon played Oregon State in the Civil War, it was a very talented defensive lineman they tried to contain. This is across the board, 4 guys that you have to try to account for on every single snap.
Masoli keeping it all the way and nothing doing, as this Buckeye defense keeping number 8 bottled up. Hayward and Torrance credited with that stop.
Well, Hayward is having a great game. How many times in the big games for Ohio State late in the year have you seen 97 making plays, fighting through both ran? Also, Ohio State brought the corner blitz that time from Devon Torrance on the boundary, just trying to help and run support. Great call that time by Jim Haycock and Luke Fickell.
3rd and long again. From his own end zone. should have been intercepted. Anderson Russell, who had 2 big interceptions against Iowa, had a interception and it got away from him.
I think it surprised Anderson Russell that the ball got through the hands of Ed Dickson, and then it snuck up on him. If he ends up catching that football, he's got a shot there to maybe take it into the end zone. But Ed Dickson, of all, maybe a little bit more, had a little bit more heat than maybe he anticipated, went right through his hands.
Now Jackson Rice, the freshman, deep in his own end zone. He's had 1 block, gets this one out cleanly. And Posey this time signals for the fair catch at midfield. Terrell Pryor and the Bucks with an early lead. Just gorgeous. Terrell Pryor with a 7-point lead. Down, wide open, Sane. Got it. Foot race. First and goal. Wonderful tightrope work down that sideline to stay in bounds. And they're going to take a look at it upstairs. From our view, he was in bounds all the way. There was 1 step where he was really, really close.
Second time that Brandon Sane's been near that right boundary, trying to keep his feet in bounds. So far, he's good. He's good. He's good.
Right there.
Right there is the call. Yep. Looks like he was able to stay in bounds all the way down, but a great call. And how about the touch by Terrell Pryor? He actually threw that football
feathered it
before Brandon Sane even had a chance to look back. It was just a soft touch. So today, so far, we've seen him throw the ball with velocity to have to get it into tight coverage. And this time, a very, very soft touch over the shoulder of Brandon Sane.
The Buckeyes, meanwhile, burn a timeout to get set here with a 1st and goal, up 7. Stoneburner, bad snap, mishandled by Pryor. Tries to save it, dives forward, back to the 6. There is a 6'6", 235-pound sophomore.
Well, the athletic ability and the ability to improvise, it's one thing to catch up to him. And Oregon has the speed. That's T.J. Ward trying to bring him down along with Eddie Pleasant. It's another thing to try to bring the big fella down at 6'6", 235 pounds. Eddie Pleasant's 5'11", 207. He's got the speed, but it's a whole different argument trying to bring the big guy down.
Pryor to the 4. T.J. Ward with the stop.
It's a great job there by Oregon's defense, keeping Pryor inside and forcing him to cut up into the teeth of the defense where there's 3 or 4 more green jerseys waiting for him. You lose contain with Terrell Pryor, and he can get to the corner and into the end zone in a hurry.
They're going to spread the field a little bit. 3 wide, Posey, Sanzenbacher, and Washington checks in. Pryor cut off. Won't make it.
First time we've had a chance to see Casey Matthews. That time, really nice job of getting away from the blocks and then finally getting upfield there to be able to push Terrell Pryor down to hit big hit.
Devin Barkley will trot out now and attempt this field goal. Keep in mind that Aaron Petrie had tacked on the extra point. So we are wondering if he re-injured that knee on that extra point. This is Barkley, who had kicked off. He kicks the field goal, and it is 10-0 Buckeyes. Barkley bobbled at the 13, and then Barner picks it up and returns it to the 42-yard line.
you look at these first couple series for Oregon, and they're in a little bit of unfamiliar territory by being forced to punt the first 2 series of this game. And I think what they're going to do is maintain their poise. This is a football team that's been on the ropes in a lot of games and have found ways to win football games. And the fact that they have a leader like Jeremiah Masoli who has so much confidence is big. But I think you're going to start to see Masoli trying to get the quick passing game going and trying to challenge Ohio State more on the perimeter here, and maybe that can get the running game opened up.
Starts with an end to run, and Barner on the edge comes up big. One way to defeat that big, swift defensive line, get over on the edge and make something happen.
Yeah, either you get the ball out quick with a pass or you do it on a reverse here, and Barner has the same kind of explosiveness that LaMichael James has. If he gets to the corner, again, he can get downfield in a hurry.
Here's Masoli keeping it himself. Barges across the 10-yard line.
All of a sudden, a big play by Barner and a fake to LaMichael James on the option read, and Ohio State starts to chase that because you have to respect the speed, and it leaves Masoli open.
Up-tempo, Masoli on the roll. He'll throw it away. So we have come to the end of the first quarter. We welcome you back to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, with Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters. I'm Brent Musburger. We wish all of you a very happy and healthy 2010. The Oregon Ducks trail it by 10. James gets the first handoff, and he's to the 7-yard line as we open the second quarter. Right near the top of the hour, and the Buckeyes scored on their first drive and later added a field goal, Herbie.
You see Barner going in motion. Now, just the fact that he's going in motion and running a 4.440 in motion is catching the attention of the Ohio State safeties and linebackers, and it's a slight adjustment here for Oregon in the first half.
On third down, Masoli will throw for it. The end zone, incomplete. He had the safety chasing a wide receiver, Mail, a little daylight, but they couldn't connect, and it'll be 4th and goal, and the field goal team for the Ducks trots onto the field.
Well, the pressure there by Kirk Coleman was vitally important for Ohio State, because if Jeremiah Masoli has just a little bit longer, that's his favorite target in this area, Jeff Mail. And Jeff Mail definitely had a chance to get away from Chekwa there to be able to come up with that touchdown.
Nate Costa, the holder who saved the Arizona game, will put it down for Morgan Flint. 24-yarder. And the Ducks are on the scoreboard. (10-3), Ohio State leads. Well, for Jeremiah Masoli and the Ducks, this is only the 4th time this season that they have been held scoreless in the opening quarter. And you might find this hard to believe, but the Buckeyes have 140 total yards to the Ducks 56. And remember, 37 of those 56 came on one play. Rob Beard, short kickoff. Sane runs up to the 15-yard line. They're going to run a reverse on it. That was Russell, the safety, coming around on it, and Mail was not fooled. 1st and 10. Pryor going to keep it all the way to the 17, but it doesn't develop quickly enough, and Boyette is there, Herbie.
Against this plays into the strength of this Oregon defense, the speed. You cannot allow this option attack to develop slowly and stretch the play out. If you're Terrell Pryor, make a decision right now and just cut it upfield for a couple yards. The more you try to stretch it out, it allows the linebackers and safeties for this athletic Oregon defense to close in on you.
Pryor, no more than a yard. Ferris brings him down.
Nice job here by Nick Aliotti here on second down, sensing a pass from Pryor. Look at him twist up front and then bring pressure from the outside. A lot of movement in front of Terrell Pryor this year has caused him to get happy feet. It's something in Oregon talked about. They've seen it. That time they dialed up the blitz at the right time to set up now another third down and long. Watch Pryor on the scramble. Very effective here on third down situations with his scrambling.
Nothing doing. They were ready. They had the pocket surrounded. Paysinger and Matthews.
Oregon has two guys. They're thinking the same thing that we're thinking up here, Brett. Watch as Pryor wants to step up. He's got two guys sitting right there. Defensive tackle Brandon Bear had dropped back almost like a linebacker. There's a linebacker also off to the other side waiting for him. Nowhere for Terrell Pryor to go. Great job the last two plays there by Nick Aliotti, and it's Ducks defense.
Toma hunting for the Bucks. Barner at the 42-yard line. Gets an edge. Great striking field position for the Ducks. A 28-yard return, and he's the young man who turned in that 37-yard run from scrimmage. So Barner is igniting the Duck team here in Pasadena. They're still kids at heart, and they love that trip every year out to Disneyland, nearby Anaheim. Here we are in Pasadena for the Rose Bowl, Oregon and Ohio State. James, who's been bottled up, slips by to the outside, and that's his most effective run of the game.
I want to mention again, after struggling in their first couple series, the adjustment is becoming pretty obvious for Chip Kelly. And a lot of times he'll tell you, it takes me 2 or 3 series to, as much film study as I do, to get a feel for what this defense might be doing, because everybody does something different. They're trying to get the ball out now on the edge with reverses and speed with LaMichael James.
Here's Masoli. Going to throw it away. Well, let's take a look, Herbie, at our city inside view.
Now, this is a zone read. You can see the mesh point there, and you can see the eyes of Masoli. He's not looking at the back. He's looking at Thaddeus Gibson for his read. Gibson takes the running back, so he keeps the football and goes right over top of Anderson Russell. That is not predetermined. That's an option read, and based on what Gibson does, dictates what the quarterback Masoli does with the ball.
3rd and 7. Flag. Illegal movement against the Ducks.
False start on the offense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Darian Weems, backup tackle, taking a crack at this defensive line, I should say, of the Bucks. So causing some problems with this offensive line. Advantage Buckeyes in that matchup so far. 3rd down. Masoli is only 1 of 5 passing. He's missed his last 4. Completes it to James, but not much doing. Back at the original line of scrimmage where it'll be 4th down.
Ohio State disguising coverage, making it look like they're going to blitz and then dropping back. I think they caught Jeremiah Masoli off guard. Brian Rowe and Ross Holman both dropped back in coverage. He wanted to dump the ball underneath, had nowhere to go but to eventually dump it down to James, and there's Holman athletically in space making a play.
Going for it on 4th and 9 from just inside the Bucks 30. Masoli got it right at the 20, very close. to the first down marker. Jeff Mail, the reliable one. You can see Tressel lobbying for a juggling as he went out of bounds.
Jeff Mail, Brent, you and I concur, one of the most talented receivers that probably most people outside of the Pac-10 have never heard of. He's a guy that just...
And they gave him a first down, and before they could even take another look at it upstairs, they quickly moved to James. Now, that was just a wise move on the Ducks' part, so that they were not looking at this to see if he perhaps was juggling. Clearly, the toes are in bounds. He looked like the legendary Raymond Berry working the sideline with that reception. No question about the feet. But you saw what Tressel wanted looked at, and the Ducks said, I don't think so. Back they came. Here's James. And now James seems to be finding his stride. As you take a look at what he's accomplished this year, LaMichael James averaging now 6.9 yards a carry. He has 1,476 yards on the season, Herbert.
And once you start to get your head on a swivel as a defense and you're looking to the outside, that's when they start to go back to the inside. They're constantly battling and attacking in different ways.
That's Barner. Not this time. Second down and goal. He's hit by Brian Roll.
Brent, imagine trying to be a linebacker or a safety, and you're trying to find a way to find out where the football is. You've got a short quarterback. You've got short tailbacks. They're all running to the left and to the right. He's faking to the left. He's faking to the right.
Here comes LeGarrette Blount. First time we've seen him in this game. Number 9. The big back, powering, reaching for the end zone, and marked at the 1 by the line judge. Third down and goal. And the reason, of course, Herbie, a lot of people say, why did they make such a big thing out of this? This is the young man who was suspended following the Boise State game when he threw that punch and decked a Boise State player.
Brent, I think this might be a touchdown. I mean, does his body ever touch the ground? I mean, he's landing on top of Kurt Coleman. He runs right over top of him. Does his knee ever touch, or is he landing on Ohio State defenders as he stretches the ball across to try to get it into the end zone? Coleman has the courage to step in front of LeGarrette Blount, but Blount looks like he extends the football across the plane there before his knee touched.
So the replay official upstairs from the Big 12 Conference is taking a look at it.
I think he's just on top of both Coleman and Ross Holman there.
Watch this replay now and watch the knees as he goes up on the 2 Buckeye defenders. Does not appear to touch the ground. So LeGarrette Blount became a father during the fall, has been kept away from the media by the coach, was reinstated, and delivered a huge touchdown for the Ducks in the Civil War against Oregon State. And he presents another kind of a problem for Jim Tressel's defense, the power back, that inside runner, and we just got a glimpse of it.
You know, you talk about LeGarrette Blount. Go back to the Oregon State game, 9 carries, 51 yards, did most of his damage in the red zone area. He's a change of pace back, and because of his power, he's a great complement to Jeremiah Masoli and LaMichael James and Kenyon Barner. But going back to the strategy, Chip Kelly attacking with the reverse, attacking with the handoff to James, and such great speed.
After further review, the runner was on top of players and was not declared down until he got into the end zone. It'll be a touchdown.
To say it bluntly, he's a load. Morgan Flynn tacks on the point. Well, we are even here. Mr. Herbstreit at 10. Brand new deck of cards has been broken out. And the Buckeyes say deal. Sane. LeGarrette Blount got us even. Let's go down for more from Lisa.
Well, Brandon, very happy LeGarrette Blount over here on the Oregon sideline. Remember that Chip Kelly originally suspended one for the entire season after that punch. And we asked Chip Kelly about that, and he said, number one, I did that because there is no manual on how to handle a situation like that. And he said, number two, I didn't want to suspend him indefinitely because I wanted to make sure that he was doing everything the right way. Coming to practice, staying in school, going to class, not for some promise that he would be back on the team, but because that's the kind of guy he is, and that's what we wanted him to do.
Lisa, thank you. As Terrell Pryor and the Buckeyes take over on their own 20. Pryor complete to the 24-yard line. Herron, the most successful drive for Jim Tressel, Herbie, obviously was the first one of this game.
And in a 10 plays, 74-yard touchdown drive, they called 9 pass plays. 8 of them, Terrell Pryor ended up throwing. He was 5 of 8 on that opening drive. Wouldn't be surprised to see Terrell Pryor at Ohio State try to open things back up.
And that is Herron being jumped. And so Nick Aliotti, who has been the defensive coordinator at Oregon for 18 years, is up there with the sunglasses on, looking down, made some adjustments, Herbie, with that defense, and he's been able to shut them down ever since that opening drive.
Yeah, the big thing that he wants to do, he wants to continue to force Pryor to prove that he can throw the football. And because they're a bit undersized up front, they're attacking the line of scrimmage with the safeties and putting 8, sometimes 9, to try to slow down the Ohio State running game.
Herron, first down, Ohio State.
You look at Boom Herron and Brandon Sane this year for Ohio State, really doing a good job of fighting through some injuries that have slowed them down a bit at times, but mainly it's been the combination of having them both back there. Both surprise you, even though they're a bit undersized, have tremendous power to go along with the quickness.
Pryor, incomplete. Sanzenbacher, the target.
Jim Tressel, I think, sensing Oregon's ability to score. When you see Jim Tressel throwing on 1st and 10, I think it's the respect that he has for Oregon's offense, and also he's seeing a defense that isn't respecting his passing game. So I said this at the beginning of the game before there was a ball thrown. Pryor today is going to have to show his ability to read defenses and throw the football.
Herron to the 37-yard line, and it will be 3rd down and manageable. Boyette with the stop.
And at that point of the football game where momentum becomes such a big part of it, Ohio State had it early, and the Ducks scoring 10 unanswered points here in the second quarter obviously have it right now. It's a big 3rd down because of that.
Pryor will take off. Penalty flag. The umpire threw one a little bit late.
Personal foul, face mask, and a defense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Brandon Bear, the nose guard, 88, actually lines up like he's going to rush, and then he drops. And he's right there to make a play. It's going to be 4th down. Ohio State's going to punt. Boy, it looked like he just touched the face mask there. Wow, he's in perfect position. They actually rushed 2 and dropped 9 that time on 3rd down and long. In position to make the play and force the punt.
Now Mariota stands up for a better look as the Bucks come across midfield after the penalty. 1st and 10. Before the snap, there was movement.
False start on the offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Shugarts, the right tackle.
Ohio State's first penalty of this football game. When Pryor has his receivers in one-on-one coverage, especially Sazanbacher off to his right in the slot, and Posey, he's got to hit him.
Pryor. Posey. Back to the original line of scrimmage there on the just across midfield.
You know, one of the things, Brent, that Terrell Pryor has to, I think, going to have to be able to do today is come off of his primary receiver. I think Oregon saw a lot of film this in their preparation for this bowl game, that if you can take away Terrell Pryor's primary receiver, he has a tendency to get happy feet and starts to panic a bit, and that's what they're trying to do to try to create some pressure.
Pryor drops it off, but nothing doing. Herron eaten up on the play by Michael Clay.
Michael Clay waited and waited to be able to make this play. It's too easy for Clay to read this. It was slow developing. It was a little bit of just kind of like a shot put of a screen pass where he got it over the defensive line, but because he floated it up in the air, Clay had all day to come in and take down Boom Herron. It was poor execution that time on a screen on 2nd down and long.
Pryor. Complete. 1st down Buckeyes across the 25-yard line. Running back Danny Herron. And that time Pryor was very aware that he was not across the line of scrimmage, that it was a legal pass. He took a peek.
Brent, this time you're going to see Terrell Pryor drop back, and look how he's looking off to his left. He wants to throw the ball to his left to DeVere Posey. The receiver is taken away, so he buys enough time and eventually finds Boom Herron. Good job of showing patience that time by Pryor.
Posey to the 25-yard line, and it will be 2nd and short after the 9-yard gain.
Well, Posey's the big play threat in the Ohio State receiving corps. Because of his size, he's a great target at 6'3", about 205 pounds, but he's sneaky and deceptive, and eventually he's going to try to get behind this man-to-man coverage, and Pryor loves to throw it to him downfield.
Sane. 1st down, Ohio State.
Very balanced attack that Terrell Pryor is leading Ohio State on here, mixing up the run with the pass, and not necessarily getting the best pass protection here, but when he's had his chances to be able to step in and make a throw, boy, he has shown the ability to be accurate today.
Pryor is 12 of 17. Penalty flag thrown on both sides of the line of scrimmage. He's asking if it's an illegal shift.
Legal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Terrell Pryor has to be excited with the game plan and what Ohio State's done in this 1st half. I think he's felt a bit handcuffed in the last 5 games that Ohio State has played. Since that Purdue loss, where the Buckeyes offense had 5 turnovers, They've been very, very conservative, and that's not been the case today against Oregon.
Pryor. Beautiful grab at the 20-yard line. That was Posey working his way across. So Oregon burns a timeout. So we'll take a break. Ohio State 10, Oregon 10. It's the Rose Bowl presented by Citi. Happy New Year, everybody, as we welcome you back to the 96 Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. One of the great traditions on the American sporting calendar. Hope all of you had a lovely New Year's dinner. Sitting around enjoying these two teams, the best of the Big Ten and the champions of the Pac-10. 3rd and 7. Pryor in a foot race. Trying to bang his way for the first down. Close.
They're going to play man-to-man coverage here, and one of the dangers of playing man is if the quarterback ends up taking off. Now, they've got a linebacker assigned to Terrell Pryor along with his safety, and eventually the safety Ward catches up to him. But I'll tell you, that's a very, very tough thing to ask a safety or linebacker to stay with Terrell Pryor on 3rd and long.
Now, the Bucs are going to burn a timeout. 4th and short. You're deadlocked at 10. You have an athlete at quarterback like Terrell Pryor. Bourne, the lead fullback, over there with Jimmy Tressel and this offensive line. You've just felt the sting of the Duck offense for the first time. So you've got to be thinking, we're going for it on this 4th down when you come back. So here comes 4th down, and Jim Tressel's going for it.
He's going for it. We were kidding at the break. If they're playing Indiana or Minnesota, he's probably kicking a field goal.
First down. Sane to the 10-yard line.
And I say that because of the respect he has for Oregon's offense. He knows in this area he's got to be able to come up with 7 points, and he's willing to take that chance. The offensive line felt the challenge and got a great push there off to the right side. Well
designed. Tressel sent Bourne over on the wing. Sane took a little stutter step in that direction, then cut up the middle. Beautifully designed play. First down and goal. Pryor, end zone, got a man, incomplete.
Pryor took a little bit too much time there. He took an extra hitch just to trust it, and because he took that extra hitch back in the pocket, he ended up throwing the football late and out of bounds. If he's able to avoid that, he had separation from Posey, and he had a touchdown pass.
Pryor, Sanzenbacher. They lose. Back to the 19. It'll be 3rd down. Boyette, the defender. Number 20, the freshman from Napa, California.
Well, Oregon catches a break here because it took until the very last second for the defense to make the adjustment. There was 3-on-2. Ohio State had an advantage, but they do such a good job at getting off the blocks. See young Cliff Harris making a good job, and John Boyette's there to finish off the play. Brent, Ohio State in the red zone this year, only scoring touchdowns 54% of the time. That's 74th in the nation.
18th play of this Buckeye drive coming up. High, incomplete, and now they will send the field goal unit out onto the team. Out of the field, I should say.
Well, that's actually very, very good coverage that time by Javis Lewis, who's on Posey, and plenty of time, pretty good protection. You can see how Terrell Pryor is very uneasy when he has to step up into the middle of that offensive line, but Lewis, stride for stride, all over Posey that time to bat the ball away.
Devin Barkley, who has played in the Rose Bowl 3 times, but is a soccer player in the MLS, not as a football player. He will attempt this field goal, and from 30 yards, Barkley, who won the Iowa game with a dramatic 39-yarder, puts the Bucks back ahead in the Rose Bowl. He came here with Tampa Bay, the Rowdies, and his first ever assist in the MLS was on this field, and now he has kicked one extra point and a field goal. Well, Herbie, what do we make of it so far? It's 13-10, a little bit lower scoring game than Oregon wants in this situation.
Yeah, and the game early was favoring Ohio State with the way their offense came out. The defense was playing very well, and Chip Kelly and the Ducks made some great adjustments. They got the momentum. They tied the game up. And now I look at this with a minute to go, about a minute 5 to go. One timeout. They're not known for their ability to throw the football, but do not count them out in being able to score.
Let me correct myself. I dated myself. They're no longer the Rowdies. They're the Mutiny.
Oh, thank goodness.
Barkley with the ball on the tee. Short kickoff. Fielded at the 24-yard line. Down at the 31. Harris ball came out. Scrum is going on. And they say he is down. You see the one official pointing quickly at the ground. Buckeyes claim they have the football. Well, they might at the bottom of the pile, but I think the one official is signaling that he was down.
Well, he got hit hard. Cliff Harris, the young true
The
freshman.
ruling on the field is the runner's knee was down with possession before the ball came loose. First down, Oregon.
Brian Roll looks like he's the first one down, the starting middle linebacker. Number 36 gets in, hits him high. Ball comes out, but his knee is down before, so Oregon catches a break there. This looked like his left hip actually was down. See what Masoli can do here with about a minute to go, a timeout left.
Tressel may have signaled that he wants him to take another look at it. He brought a couple of officials over to the sideline. But I think it was clear to the replay official upstairs.
He just called a timeout from the bench.
Timeout, Ohio State. Third and
to...
final in the first half. 30-second timeout.
So he's giving the replay official more time to take a further look at him. And Herbie, you were pretty clear that you thought that he was down before the ball came out.
And play with the great teams in college football.
Incomplete. It'll be second down and 10.
I think the thing that is fascinating that people don't understand about Oregon is they have a chance with a top 12 finish this year to finish this decade with 5 top 12 finishes.
Masoli into Buckeye territory. So Masoli comes back to 2-A, and that's a 23-yard gain, and they've got inside of a minute to work with and one timeout. Stops the clock out of bounds as they work underneath.
Great job of getting out of bounds by James. And if you're not familiar with Jeremiah Masoli and this Oregon offense, and you hear a lot about their zone read and their option attack, he has a quick release, a strong arm. He's making good decisions this year by throwing the football. Like that, make a little adjustment to the game clock. But he can get the ball downfield in a hurry with the strength of his arm. Ed Dickson and Jeff Mail, his 2 favorite targets.
38 seconds for Masoli through behind the receiver. He had a vertical runner open, and that was big Ed Dickson, who's been quiet so far.
Yeah, again, the seam routes is the way that Oregon really likes to try to exploit zone coverage. They send 2 guys that time right at Kirk Coleman to make him make a decision on Jeff Mayo or Ed Dickson.
Masoli deflected, intercepted at the 35-yard line by Homan. Homan stops the drive right there, and now it is the Bucks who have 25 seconds remaining.
And give Doug Worthington an assist there. The big defensive lineman, this time at 6'6", right in the middle of the defense, going up against Mark Asper gets his hand up, knocks the ball loose, and how about the instincts by Holman? His 5th interception on the year, and not only does he make the catch, but he shows his high school tailback days by getting upfield and picking up some valuable yardage.
Pryor with a deep drop. Waits, and throws it away. Sane was in the area. So it will be 2nd down with 19 seconds remaining.
And that is the area where young Terrell Pryor is going to have to improve the most. When people elect not to pressure and just sit back with 8 guys in zone and make him read and decipher and recognize different coverages and make good decisions on time, that's the area that he needs, in my opinion, to improve the most.
Pryor comes back. Sanzenbacher, that's a 1st down. It'll stop it quickly. They're moving into field goal range. That's a 25-yard gain. And they will stop it.
It'll be interesting to see with Petrie with a much stronger leg to see if they do eventually have this shot at a field goal, or if they are going to elect to still go with Barclay.
Well, you see Aaron Petrie over there on the sideline. Remember, he kicked their first extra point here today. He has a little bit of a longer range. His longest field goal is 52 yards. He's kicked 13, I should say 54. Let me correct myself. He's had a 52 this year, and he is 13 of 19. So with 10 seconds, they'd like one more play just a little bit closer. Pryor got to keep the clock in mind. He throws it away. 2 seconds remaining.
Well, Petrie's already out there and anxious to have his chance at this long field goal attempt. Ohio State doing just enough on offense, and the big pass by Terrell Pryor to Sanzenbacher got them in position to at least have this attempt.
Lisa was talking to Petrie down at practice earlier, and he reported to her that he had kicked a 63-yarder.
Oh,
a little bit different, but he's got a big leg now.
Oh, huge leg.
Here we come. This is a 45-yarder for the Bucks following the interception.
Chip Kelly came in with a timeout.
Chip Kelly coached very successfully at New Hampshire. He has about 45 of his buddies from New England who are here. So yesterday he said, I'll give you a half hour from 5 to 5:30. Don't bother me. I'll see you after the game. What do they call themselves, his friends? Well, they're the New England Ducks, and they're here today rooting for the former great coach of the New Hampshire team.
He's very proud of those ties. You know, he's upset right now with the officials because he thought the previous play where Pryor just threw it away, that the ball didn't get across the line of scrimmage.
It has to hit something over there before.
That's what he was,
that's why Colt McCoy was so successful in the Big 12 championship. On its way. There's that big leg. Petrie. And the Bucks pick up 3 more as the result of Holman's interception. Coach Trussell is with Lisa.
Thank you, Brent. Coach, you started off the game with 6 consecutive passing plays, a lot less conservative than we've seen in the recent past. How come?
Well, we feel as if we have to be balanced, and Oregon's a good football team, and we're going to have to be at our best run and pass, and as you can see, this is going to be a heck of a game. Terrell
Pryor, 15 for 24, 149 yards in that first half. Also 31 yards rushing the ball. What does that do for his confidence, having so much success running and throwing?
Well, he knows that it's a long battle to go, so hopefully he'll keep making good decisions, and he can make some big plays with his arm and his feet.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks,
Devin Barclay will kick it away here for the Buckeyes. The crowd settling back in after the intermission and the bands. And Fielded on the 7-yard line by Barner. Barner got a gap. Barner explodes, and he is out to the 46-yard line. Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Brenda, just talking to Chip Kelly, he said, hey, our mission is simple. Terrell Pryor is the guy who's going to beat us. We've got to contain him. He said, but we do have him figured out. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, we know what he's going to do. Our guys are getting to him. And then he laughed. He said, we just got to tackle him. He's a big son of a gun. Guys.
That 39-yard return gives his offense.
That's right.
Good field position here to open the second half. James bounces. Crosses midfield before Russell wrestles him down.
That looks more like the LaMichael James that we saw all season in the Pac-10. Brent, that's what you talked about, the time of possession. The way Ohio State's been able to hold on to the football and try to keep Masoli off to the sideline.
Come now the other side. And the Buckeyes jump on it. Hines was in on that play, along with Gibson, who made the initial stop on the running back.
But you're going to see Doug Worthington as well really work hard, and that's something that the defensive line has to do. It's one thing to try to get penetration against this offense, but also when they go to the outside, you got to push your blocker to the sideline.
Down the near sideline, one-on-one penalty. That'll go against the Buckeyes. Chekwa. Chekwa was defending Mail, and the flag came.
Pass interference on a defense, number 5. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
There is not face guarding in college football, but as a defender, if you do not turn your head and try to locate the football, they are going to call pass interference every single time on you. So it's not necessarily about how much contact he made or he didn't make. Anytime an official doesn't see that head turning back and you attempting to get to the football, they're going to call it.
Masoli has to throw this away because Jermail Hines was all over him. They brought a blitz. Jimmy Haycock is calling a sensational game defensively for the Buckeyes.
Well, we've talked a lot about Jim Tressel being aggressive on the offensive side, but Brent, we're also seeing it from Jim Haycock and Luke Fickell dialing up blitzes. And again, they're trying to mix up the looks to try to slow down Masoli.
Hands it off straight ahead. This will be 3rd down and long. And this is the situation that Haycock's defense wants over and over and over again. A veteran coach.
Might be Brent Jordan Holmes there. The center looked like he was struggling to.
That's a big
loss. It is.
The anchor.
He's the leader up front.
Max Four, a junior from close by in Santa Monica, due to come in for Holmes. Let us take a break and let us hope that Jordan Holmes will be able to return to action soon. We'll be right back. When you look down from a blimp shot and you don't see any cars move into the parking lot, you know you've got a dandy unfolding on the field. We've got a 6-point game. Big 3rd down and 8 yards, and the Ducks are 0 for 5 on 3rd.
Brent, we were just talking at the break. You might be saying, why on 3rd down are they running the football? It's because Chip Kelly, with a field goal kicker, Morgan Flint, that has a long of 43 this year, he's thinking about this is 4-down territory. So on 3rd down, let's get as close as we can to try to set up a conversion here on 4th down.
Empty backfield. Masoli throws for the 1st down. They're to the red zone, and that's the 2nd catch of the day for Tuinei.
This is a great call here by Chip Kelly, getting the ball out to the left flat. Ohio State in man coverage. Nobody left there to pick up Tuinei. The defenders went to the inside. A good read by Masoli to throw the ball to the outside.
There is James, and nothing doing. Bucks were ready. Holman leading the charge. He intercepted a pass late in the first half, which led to the final Ohio State field goal.
Oregon with this hurry-up offense.
On second down, pump fake. Now he's got to come to the side. That was dangerous because it was red off the pump by Hines, who was stepping in to the flat. Dixon, the intended receiver.
Well, I think Jeremiah Masoli and Jeff Mayo might have miscommunicated there, because I think Masoli recognized that Ohio State had the play very well defended, and he wanted to give it a pump fake and try to get the ball downfield to Jeff Mayo, who was actually blocking downfield.
Barner had a big 37-yard play earlier. He motions out. He'll be the receiver. From the 21, he's got the first and goal to the 6-yard line. So Kenyon Barner, the freshman from Riverside, California, delivers again.
And a great block by Carson York, the left guard. He gets just enough of Ross Holman to give the back this time, Barner, enough room to accelerate upfield. Nice block that time, Carson York.
So they convert a 4th down and now a 3rd down. So it'll be 2nd down from the 4. Barner stays on the field. Holman with the stop.
Well, this defensive line doing a very good job of getting penetration consistently in the backfield to try to slow down Masoli, and he's doing a good job of being able to offset that with the speed.
Touchdown, Oregon. Barner. No, hold on. The line judge says he was down at the 1. Line judge had a perfect view of it down the line. I'm sure they'll take a second look at it, and LeGarrette Blount quickly checks in. And here is the hammer. Masoli keeps it. Masoli for the score.
Brent, me and you and the Ohio State defense thought, as you said, the hammer had the football, because the tendency is when Jeremiah Masoli has LeGarrette Blount in the backfield inside the 5-yard line, the big guy has it, right? No, Ohio State thought so. Masoli keeps it and gets through Brian Roll and into the end zone.
Morgan Flint. And the Ducks lead for the first time today in this Rose Bowl. Almost 4:30 here along the Pacific Coast. 1-point game. Beard kicks it away. Buckeyes first possession of the second half. And Herron. And there's a penalty flag at the 41-yard line.
During the return, holding number 16 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Right, going back to that touchdown, and I think we all thought again that the big guy would get it. The read is right here. And Jeremiah Masoli is simply going to watch Cameron Hayward. If Hayward comes down and takes the big back Blount away, which he does, he pulls the football out. So again, not predetermined. He's just reading Hayward's body language. He came down on Blount, pulled the ball out, and then again shows how physical he can be running over top of Brian Roll.
Running play was Sane to the 24-yard line, picking up 4 on first down.
Jim Tressel telling Lisa Salters as he came off the field before the half, Lisa said, you know, why are we seeing Terrell Pryor throw 24 times? And his answer was, well, we need balance against this Oregon defense. Because they're crowding the line, we have to mix some things up. And how about this for balance? They have 49 plays, 24 runs, and 25 passes.
Flanker screen. Santabacher's got the first down for the Buckeyes.
You get the football out fast like that, you've got to rely on the receivers to be able to stalk block. And Torian Washington that time, along with DeVere Posey, a good job of holding on and maintaining their blocks. And that time, Seisenbacher, who has tremendous quickness, gets upfield for that first down.
Second down and 8. Play fake by Pryor, rolls to the left. Throws down to Posey, got it! At the 29-yard line, DeVier Posey.
Let's take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. A great throw, and Terrell Pryor in rhythm. Rolling out to his left, he gathers himself, and he throws his football before DeVier Posey has a chance to even make his break to the sideline. Put the ball right in position, well-timed, and a great throw. You can see the chemistry that time between Pryor and DeVier Posey.
36 yards. Pryor rolls the other way, and now he's red hot. Seisenbacher at the 25, blasted out of bounds by Harris.
Well, the young freshman came up and made a play here, even though he gave up some yards. Letting Seisenbacher know about it.
Terrell Pryor has thrown for 198 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And he has been feeling it, rolling to the left and now coming back to the right on the move. Sane tries to get the first down, and he's pushed out of bounds very close to it. It'll be a third down and very short.
Time the young freshman fullback Zach Boren trying to lead the way. It's getting kind of physical and a bit chippy. It's been a little chippy the entire game when Oregon's defense and the Ohio State offense have been going back and forth.
Comes Sane for the first down. Casey Matthews, number 55, is in there in that stop. What a familiar name to you Rose Bowl fans. This is the 5th straight Rose Bowl that a member of the Matthews family has played. That's right. Kyle and Clay for USC. Today, Casey with the Ducks. Of course, his father was a great player at USC, and he only played 19 years in the NFL. Then his uncle, Bruce, he also played in the Bulls. So how about this family connection? The family Matthews and the Rose Bowl. First down and 10. Read option, and the Ducks read it better than the Bucks.
Well, they see that every day in practice. They're gonna read that in a hurry. Anytime you go up against your own offense in spring ball and in two-a-days, you're pretty familiar with another offense that has the audacity to run some form of the zone read. And Terrell Pryor's in no man's land. He wanted to pull the ball out and have heavy contact to try to separate Seisenbacher from the football.
What a great hit.
Wow.
Third and 13. Pryor fires behind the receiver. Misread. Seisenbacher cutting to the post, and Pryor threw behind him.
They had what they wanted, one-on-one matchup, and Pryor trying to get the ball out early. I think you could tell by the throw was anticipating Seisenbacher maybe staying up closer to the middle of the field. But Dane must have seen the coverage that he had to break it off a little bit early.
The Bucks have 3 field goals today. Here's Devin Barkley attempting to make their 4th and regain the lead. It's a 38-yarder. And Ohio State regains the lead. 19-17, 6.5 minutes left. Third quarter of a dandy Rose Bowl. Well, we welcome you back to the 96th Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. The Big Ten and the Pac-10. 1917 right now. The Big Ten champion leads with an attendance of 93,963. Both these schools turned out, and tickets were at a premium for this Rose Bowl. nicely. Varner back at the 2-yard line. Slips, and he's had 2 outstanding returns here in the second half. That was a 36-yard return, and the young man, remember, he had a 100-yarder for a touchdown on the same field against UCLA. He's delivering again. James, number 21, is the running back. Varner overall has had a huge day. He's rushed for 55 yards and James for only 40. Offensively, the Buckeyes have 280 yards and the Ducks 172. And battling, coming free is James. Appeared to be stopped, broke free before Russell gets him out of bounds.
Well, this is the matchup that we wanted to see today. One of the best backs in the country against one of the best safeties in the country. Right there, Kurt Coleman has to make that play close to the line of scrimmage. And that gives you an idea. You look at LaMichael James, 5'9", 180 pounds. He's not just elusive and quick. He has tremendous power as he ran right through Kurt Coleman.
End route. And they pick up another 8. Varner. That's the second time he's been successful coming off the edge with that play, and we've got an injured Buckeye Hines down on the field.
It looks like one of the trainers yelled wind, meaning he got the wind knocked out of him. LaMichael James has been doing this all year long. One of the most explosive backs, known for his big playability in this offense. But the thing that I think has impressed us all year is how he can run through tackles. I love how they continue to attack the perimeter and then go back into the inside, making it tough on Ohio State to build up, get an idea of what's coming.
Fumble, loose ball, and it's a free ball. And it'll go out of bounds on the sideline as Blunt was the running back that time, and that'll come out on the 20.
Ohio State will take over at the 20-yard line, and I don't think LeGarrette Blunt, Brent, ever had a handle on the ball. We keep talking about how they're attacking with the reverse. They keep going to the edge of the defense. Well, they faked it this time, and LeGarrette Blunt ended up kicking the football as it came out of his hands, and when it goes out of the end zone, it's the defense's ball at the 20. Watch the football. Does he ever? No, it never got in there, and then his left foot kicked the football. It's a scramble, but it goes out of the end zone. This is an offense that, as good as they've been this year, they've been prone to mistakes. They've fumbled this year 26 times coming in and lost 15 fumbles. That's among the worst in the college football.
So the Buckeyes have the ball coming out from their own 20. And Pryor rolls right, fires a strike, Posey. 12 yards.
That's a big call on 1st and 10. After a big turnover, trying to get Terrell Pryor to continue to just play within himself. 1st and 10 play action pass is something that Jim Tressel's going a lot to tonight.
Harvey, we are watching one thing. The confidence in Pryor is growing with Jim Tressel's play calling. You can see that evolving here. He's got confidence the way the young man is playing, and there are flags on this before the play starts.
You can go back to the development and maturity of Troy Smith, and you could see the same thing in 2004, and then eventually when he burst onto the scene in 05 and 06.
Offside on a defense, number 50. Jumped in the neutral zone, caused the offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty, first down.
But you make a great point that Jim Tressel's play calling and confidence that he has in his quarterback has as much to do with Terrell Pryor playing up to the lofty expectations as anything. Last 3 games in the regular season, 17 attempts. It's hard to make plays.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that he's a true sophomore. Still a baby. First down and 5. And that was stopped before the handoff to Heron. That's a false start.
False start on the offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Somebody who knows Terrell Pryor as well as anybody from his high school days is the head coach at Oregon, Chip Kelly. Kelly telling us the other day that he visited Pryor every week during his basketball season of his senior year, just trying to get him to make a trip to Eugene. And he so admires the young man for staying with his high school basketball team and never, ever making that trip. So now he's playing against the young man he tried so hard to recruit. Here's Pryor trying to slip a tackle, and it was not easy bringing him down. Kenny Rowe had his hands full, but he got the job done.
Well, Kenny Rowe's having a great football game tonight. The hybrid defensive end, outside linebacker, the top of your screen. He comes off of Jake Ballard. And again, we keep talking about it. Pryor's 6'6", 235 pounds, and very quick and very athletic. And you can see Kenny Rowe at 6'3", 232, never giving up. It's the second time tonight he's been able to bring down Terrell Pryor because of his attitude and relentless effort.
Backfield's empty. 2nd and 15 for Pryor. He takes off on a designed run, sheds a would-be tackler, and gets back to the 35. It'll be 3rd and manageable. Pryor has to be a little bit careful when he starts barking.
TJ Ward, who's the intimidator of the Oregon defense, he's kind of the emotional spark plug. He's coming in there to try to get a piece. In fact, he's the first one to get a piece of Terrell Pryor, and he lets him know about it after he makes the hit right there, 2 against 2. And Pryor rolls into the legs there, the Oregon staff.
Wasn't he close to being out of bounds?
Pretty
Right. Hit him?
We'll call that a gray area.
I got you. 3rd and 8. Pryor has got a man open, and he throws an interception. He had Heron wide open, and he threw to the deep man, and Boyette picks it off. So Boyette with 2 huge plays, a jarring tackle on Sanzenbacher, and now the interception.
Brent, I want you to watch DeVere Posey, and here's Boyette. Watch what Posey does in breaking away from the coverage. He's working in man-to-man. Right there, he makes an adjustment. Pryor sees him, but he doesn't see the safety, so he just flips it over the top, not recognizing the safety and coverage, and Boyette steps up.
We'll take a timeout. Bucks lead it 19-17.
Oregon running back LaMichael James going back to the locker room just moments ago. Trainers were working on his left shoulder while the Oregon offense was over on the sideline. He ran off the field and directly into the x-ray room. Guys, I'll have an update for you as soon as I get it.
All right, well, they go with Blunt as a replacement. Remember, he had just fumbled the ball in that previous series. And Barner, of course, who has been a spark plug, is now coming onto the field, and he will be the Ducks running back. 2nd down and 7. And that is stopped before Masoli can take off. Against the Oregon offense.
Start on the offense. Number 54. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And that's a center. And Holmes back on the field. And it's a false start.
We should mention, with Barner coming in, you talked about what a great night he's had. His reputation as a kickoff return man, but also a very effective back with the same kind of speed, a former defensive back.
They motion Barner out of the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Gets it off. Screen on the side. The first reception for DJ Davis, the junior from Denver.
The big thing, again, about being able to pick up yards when you get the ball out like that is being able to get perimeter blocking from the wide receivers. Ohio State, led by Jermel Hines that time, fighting through the blocks and being able to push Davis out of bounds.
Backfield is empty. Pump fake to the flank. Going to come deep down the middle, and it is incomplete. So the safety, Anderson Russell, was not fooled by that pump fake to the flat.
Trying to just get the safety to bite up just a little bit, but two things there. Great job by Kurt Coleman sitting back in coverage, and because he's there, it forces Masoli to throw the ball more over the middle of the field, where Anderson Russell is sitting there, making it easy for him to come over and be a factor on that pass.
Jackson Rice back to punt. Posey fumbles it. Down at the 10-yard line. And remember, they are without suspended Ray Small. And that's where they have been hurt a couple of times here tonight.
Pryor 19-31 as he trots out onto the field here with about a little over a minute to go in the third quarter.
Touchdown pass came on the first drive of the game for the Buckeyes as they opened up with the touchdown. Interception came on that last drive. Now they settle in with Sane on the power running game. TJ Ward, if you haven't watched him, number 2, just an outstanding hard-hitting safety for the Ducks. That's the young man without the helmet. Now he's ready.
From the great high school program, De La Salle, Northern California.
You bet.
Constantly churning out great Division I football players, and as we said earlier, he's kind of the emotional spark plug, the intimidator of the Ducks defense.
Sane again.
This offense, these first two plays of this series, is the way Ohio State has really played for an entire game down the stretch of the season. And I think that's when fans and Terrell Pryor and others got a little bit impatient. They wanted to see more of Pryor doing his thing, and that's what we've seen tonight.
Going to the fourth quarter. And as you look at that scoreboard, this is a Buckeye kind of game. Keep in mind that in their last 6 games coming down the stretch of the Pac-10, there were more than 60 points scored in each of Oregon's games. The Buckeyes of Ohio State, they haven't been in a 60-point game all season, and it doesn't look like they're going to be in one here tonight. In fact, Navy scored the most points against the Bucks this year, 27. That is
bright
the truth.
Colors. Gets dark when it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Third down and 3. Pryor. Bucks forced to punt. Sanzenbacher. And he was well defended by the freshman from Fresno, Cliff Harris, who's got tremendous upside.
Yes, sir. Oregon brings pressure again. They've been consistent all game long, trying to get into the face. They feel Pryor gets a little bit antsy. The throw's actually pretty good, but the coverage by the true freshman, sensational by Cliff Harris.
Big moment for Barner. He's set to return this punt. Standing there at the Ducks 43. Masoli can get great field position. Fair catch. Out of bounds. And it will be spotted at the 32. LeGarrette Blount and Masoli, the trigger man.
Brent, such a different look when the big fella gets back into this offense. Used to seeing him inside the 5-yard line, but he can do some damage. When he gets the chance to build up momentum and run downhill, he'll run right through a safety.
He's got his chance, and he bulls his way for the first down. Takes on a linebacker that time, Herbie Holman.
You lose a little bit of quickness and deception and speed with when James or Barner check out, but obviously you pick up the power. And you can see that Ohio State's defense is a big question. How would they hold up against this offense?
Masoli. Out of bounds, shy of midfield.
Masoli, the one thing about him that you really have to appreciate all year, when the games have been on the line in conference play, he's kept his cool, composure, and made great decisions.
And that's Brian Roll, and the Buckeyes can't afford to be without him for a long time.
No. He's done such a great job of filling the large shoes of James Laurinaitis, who left last year after a great career for the Buckeyes, off to the NFL, and the St. Louis Rams. Role stepped up along with Ross Holman to replace Marcus Freeman. Both young men play with quite a chip on their shoulder.
2nd down and 6. The read option, Barner to midfield, and that is short. They've got a 3rd down coming up.
You know, Cameron Hayward, 97, gets most of the attention up front, but Doug Worthington, who's coming off the field right now, he has had a great game up front for this Ohio State defensive line. It seems like every time you look up, if somebody's getting upfield and making a play, it's the senior, number 84, Doug Worthington.
Masoli incomplete. 4th down, and the punting team comes off the sideline.
Well, they were able to get enough pressure there on Masoli where he's actually falling back as he tries to throw this football, and that was a tight pocket for him to try to squeeze it in. You see John Simon, a freshman defensive lineman, but with all that being said, he still gets it in there, and that's one that Masoli would love to have.
Jackson Rice, the freshman. Posey standing on the Buckeye 10-yard line. Down at the 19-yard line. 13:03 remaining. Up under center. Herron for a couple of yards.
Brent Terrell Pryor coming into the game the last 3 games, only attempting 17 attempts tonight, 19 of 32. And you can see if you look left to right, he is really spreading it out. Jim Tressel wanted balance, not just with play calling. And he's at 33 passes and 33 runs, by the way, right now, but also left to right, spreading the ball around.
LaMichael James reemerges from the Oregon locker room, and he is suited up and looks like he'll be ready to go on the next series. 2nd down and 8. Pryor takes off, breaks a tackle, got the 1st down. The athleticism of number 2.
Terrell Pryor, Oregon knew that this is one of the things they had to contain and take away from Ohio State. He doesn't always see the field well, especially his middle field reads. He doesn't trust it, and he comes off of it. Eddie Pleasant, a very fast linebacker, is right there. He's got to be able to make that play. Pryor cuts back behind him and is able to pick up the 1st down. It's a blitz.
Hands it off to Herron.
Going back to Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator from Oregon. Have to be able to stop Terrell Pryor from scrambling and creating. Not that he's hurt him a lot tonight, but just enough on certain downs.
Pryor rolling to the right. Sanzenbacher short of the 1st down.
The thing that's probably surprised Nick Aliotti and Oregon's defense, maybe more than even you and I and everybody watching this game, is that Terrell Pryor is 20 of 33 pass attempts from an offense that's been very conservative since their loss to Purdue.
Dominating the clock.
Keeping Masoli on the sideline.
Pryor, 1st down, Sanzenbacher.
It's a great throw by Pryor, but Oregon actually gives him the passing lane. They walk their linebacker up, Casey Matthews, 55, and you can see him there in your picture. When he walked up to show blitz, he didn't get back in time, and it made it very easy for Pryor to find a passing lane to get the ball to Dane Sanzenbacher, who was going up against soft coverage on 3rd down.
Pryor, backside down. And he was hit by Kenny Rowe, who is just an outstanding defensive player. Terrific pickup speed.
Oh, Kenny Rowe, what a night tonight for the Oregon Duck defensive end, going up against Jim Cordell at the top. Watch again, it's the effort. Number 58, the third time tonight he's been able to catch up to Terrell Pryor, and it's been because of his attitude. He just won't stop. And Brandon Baer gives his best to Terrell, along with Rowe.
2nd and 12. Pryor slips and he's down. Comes 3rd down for the Bucks. Lead it by 2. 9.5 minutes. Jake Ballard, been very quiet. There's a tight end here tonight. Is released into a few pass patterns, mainly used as a blocker. Zanzibaca will go into the slot. Herron is the running back. Pryor slips away, throws it in the air, caught, and there's our man Ballard. Right on cue, Jake Ballard.
Jake Ballard, Brent, you called it, 6'6", able to go up and make a play. It looked like Pryor had just thrown it up into coverage. I think the Ducks thought they had a great shot to go up and take this ball away, but the former high school basketball star makes the play.
Now they come back, and Zanzibaca can't hang on. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 as the Bucks try to pick the tempo up a little bit.
About Ballard going up in the air to make that catch.
Well, Herbert, you put your point out. It was like a basketball player.
Springboro High School, one of the great high school basketball players, his senior year in the state of Ohio, and he looked like that going up.
Didn't he, though?
Bringing down a board.
Second and 10. Herron trying to follow the left side. Cordell and Justin Boren, the transfer from Michigan, on that left side.
This will be interesting for Jim Tressel on 3rd down, because tonight he's gone against his tendencies. He's up by 2. Tressel ball would call for a run here to keep it in the middle of the field and have confidence in your kicker, Petrie, to come out and kick a field goal. This is within his range. But tonight he's kind of gone against the grain. Will he put Pryor in a position to take a chance and throw the football?
Penalty flag. Steps across that marker, but this one could be coming back.
Offside on the defense.
On the defense.
Penalties declined. First off.
I think it was the nose guard that time. Brandon Baer, who was just trying to get a jump on the ball. Yeah, I mean, that's a great call. Brewster's able to get the ball up, but we saw this earlier, how physical he can be. This is a safety. He throws him to the Rose Bowl turf and picks up yards for a 1st down.
Hands it off, and Herron pounds to the middle. Now we're seeing a little bit of Tressel ball as he brings down that clock, tries to keep the pressure on the Ducks here, tries to keep it moving on the ground.
That's what he's about. You know, he's always playing the odds in his favor. Plays very, very smart. These kind of games, you touched on it earlier, this is his comfort zone. And it wouldn't bother him at all to kick a field goal here and to put him up by 5 and force the Ducks to eventually have to go down and score a touchdown.
They've kicked 4 field goals and scored 1 touchdown on their first series of the game. He throws, end zone, Posey, touchdown, Ohio State.
Ladies and gentlemen who wanted to move Terrell Pryor to wide receiver after the Purdue game, take note of that throw and of this performance tonight in the biggest game of the year for the Ohio State team.
Petrie.
Previous play is under further review.
It's interesting. Posey was the young man who was in the exact same position earlier in the game, and he ended up dropping a potential touchdown pass. This time, a tougher catch. The ball is perfectly thrown to his backside shoulder, and he makes the catch. It's a matter of checking out to see his feet. He's man-to-man against Anthony Gilden. Does he bobble the ball? It's a touchdown.
Looks like a catch to me.
What a night. We've talked a lot about Pryor. How about the night for Posey? 8 catches and 101 yards.
How about the job that
Further
Bill
review.
Bunnell.
Receiver maintained possession. Touchdown.
How about the job that Bill Bunnell, the producer, and Derek Mobley, the director, and our cameramen have done? The ability to come back with the reverse angle and show all the definitive angles so that the replay folks, there was no doubt in their mind. They saw everything that they wanted to see, and we've had coverage like this all night long from this crew. Congratulations, guys, and Happy New Year.
And more to come January 7th.
Petrie tacks on the extra point. Could this be the Buckeyes' comeback night in a BCS Bowl? We're about to find out. Well, the daytime turns to nighttime here in Southern California as we welcome you back to the 96 Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Still not much movement outside this Rose Bowl. 26-17. Buckeyes lead it. Barner has been electric. They decide to kick it short to him, and he fields it at the 20, set the reverse, and they pitch it out. And here it comes Harris. Harris down the far side. They run the reverse on the short kickoff, and the young corner from Fresno, California, gets it done for the Ducks.
Well, great call here by Chip Kelly and his special teams coach here. Everybody's expecting Barner, who's had a great night on kickoff returns, to return it. Perfect time to go with the reverse. Barkley ends up knocking out Harris out of bounds, but Cliff Harris showing he's got some speed himself as he got around to the corner there and gives Masoli and the Ducks exactly what they needed. Outstanding field position in an Ohio State territory.
They trail it by 9. LaMichael James back in the game. And he will carry it. Spins away from a would-be tackler. Finally, Brian Roll, who was shaken up earlier, brings the freshman from Texarkana, Texas down. What a year he's had. 1,400 yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. Second down, he's in trouble here. The Bucks were all over that. Doug Worthington in on top of him. We check in with Lisa.
As you said, Brent, LaMichael James back in the game. I'm told by the Oregon training staff the x-rays were negative. They put some extra padding on that left shoulder, and he's giving it a go.
Well, here we go at third down. Masoli. Complete, short of the first down. That was James, the receiver.
Is interesting. This is interesting for Chip Kelly. Normally, he's always about being aggressive and going, but it's a 2-possession game. He needs 3 points, and this is very out of character for Chip Kelly to bring the field goal unit out here because he needs points on this possession, and he needs guaranteed points.
You don't want to misfire on this. You've got to take the 3 when you've got a chance,
Exactly. Exactly.
Morgan Flint. Slides it right. No good. And now the Ducks are under the gun. Down 9, 5:10 to go. Costa had used an extra second to set the ball after the snap. They are 5 minutes away from beating Oregon and winning the Rose Bowl. Jim Tressel's first Rose Bowl as a head coach at Ohio State. Sane is on the field.
Brent, you and I know Coach Tressel very well, and I think we would both agree that this is a different Jim Tressel tonight in the way he approached this game, how aggressive he approached this game on both sides of the football, most notably offensively with what Terrell Pryor has done so far in this game. There's going to be a lot of talk about Terrell Pryor, but it should start with Jim Tressel being willing to turn Pryor loose tonight and have the confidence in him.
Pryor, pitch, Sane after the juggle. Run out of bounds on the Ohio State sideline, short of the first down.
Pryor on this option game, it's an option that just takes a lot of time to develop, and eventually he pitches it out. And if Torian Washington doesn't pick up that block, that play is not only a loss of yardage, potentially a fumble. Great block by Washington. Gives Ohio State here a chance on third down. Ducks are not only trying to get the ball back, but as you can see, under 4 minutes, now the clock's a big factor.
Third down and 2. Option look again. Pryor will keep it for the first down.
Well, Pryor tonight, because he's thrown the football so much, I think people are going to remember that, but I think you have to appreciate a quarterback who's been throwing linebackers and safeties all game long and fighting through arm tackles, and once he breaks free at 6'6", 235, he's got the athletic ability. Here's Javis Lewis, one of the more physical tacklers on the Oregon defense, getting thrown to the turf as well. So Pryor has done a little bit of everything tonight for this Ohio State offense.
From up under center. Now the power running game of the Buckeyes. That was Sane. Down to 3 minutes. And Pryor's going to keep it. Out of bounds on the far side, which I know that Terrell would have preferred to stay in bounds, but the angle on him made it almost mandatory for the quarterback to step out. I know there's someone who's down below, Herbie, who is as overjoyed watching this. Jim Tressel made sure that he came out here with former coach Earl Bruce, and that's Steve Snap. Long time, great SID at Ohio State. Came up to the box. He's been struggling a little bit with his health lately, and I couldn't have been happier to see Steve Snap here. Would not have seemed like a Rose Bowl with the Buckeyes of Ohio State without Steve in attendance. And I know he's counting down the 2:41 now. First down.
This is a comfort zone for Jim Tressel, like a python, just slowly squeezing.
Stay tough for the last 2:30 now. No one wants it more than Coach Tressel. Herbie, you see this all the time, right?
You think he's tired of hearing about 3 straight losses in BCS bowl games? It's not over yet.
That game plan crumpled in his hand.
Yeah.
First down and 10, and Herron pounds straight ahead. You know, one of the questions that we were asked about before the start of the game, and it's I think it's really a good one, Herbie, was is the Buckeye defense. You know, there's all this talk when the Big Ten struggle in bowl games, and specifically Ohio State. They're not fast enough for these flashy teams from the SEC and the Pac-10 and the Big 12.
Maybe Miami of Florida,
Right.
but Ohio State doesn't take a back seat. So it's not about individual talent. And this will go a long way in helping to show people they can play.
And here's the MVP of the night, Terrell Pryor. He just put the trophy away with that little bootleg for 12 more yards.
And I think it's a sign of things to come in the 2010 season for Ohio State, a team that returns the majority of this football team back. You're going to see Terrell Pryor put in this kind of offense with Jim Tressel trusting him more and being willing to attack both running the football and throwing the football. It's a big night for Pryor and his growth. There's no doubt about that.
Look at what Terrell Pryor has done himself against that fabulous Oregon offense. And this game was not played at the Duck pace right from the beginning. It looked like a lower scoring game than many people thought. We're sitting on what now, 43 total? And like I said, the last 6 or 7 games, the Ducks have been in the 60s. The Ohio State D rules, and a point I want to make before we keep praising the Buckeyes, and they deserve it. 18 Oregon starters are coming back next year, including Masoli.
Absolutely.
So for Oregon Duck fans, I know it's a tremendously unhappy afternoon right now, but I think this team will be the preseason choice to win the Pac-10, and they could well wind up, well, they're certainly going to be in the top 10 next year.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And with Masoli coming back and James, much like Ohio State, most of that nucleus is back.
Watch the vest, baby. Here it comes.
Yes.
Where are those rascals? I know they're lurking back there.
It's not over. It's not over yet.
He won't let him do it. Oh, no! But he'll look at that clock and say, what's with you guys? There's 40 seconds, but he couldn't resist a big hug with Coleman. And the all Big Ten safety. What a day for the conference. Not just Ohio State. Penn State beats LSU. Northwestern goes to overtime with Auburn. But the Buckeyes rule. Put that gorilla away in the closet. You remember what Chip said before this game? Coach Tressel gets it.
Absolutely.
A touchdown in the first quarter and a touchdown in the fourth quarter. And field goals in between. Time of possession tonight, folks. 41-37 for Ohio State in this game.